Hello, today I'd like to show you how to record your first podcast with Audacity and upload your file onto the internet to podbean.com. So we're going to get started. I'm going to record my first podcast by simply clicking record. And here we go. Hello, welcome to my first podcast. My podcast is about Led Zeppelin. I think Led Zeppelin are the best band in the world. I even believe they're better than Metallica. Here's a sample of their music. Okay, now I've clicked stop to stop recording. Don't click pause. Use the yellow square to stop recording. And now I'm going to add a little bit of their music. So I'm going to go to the project menu and say import audio. Once we do that, I find an MP3 on my computer of some Led Zeppelin music and I click open. That's going to take a moment. It imports the music. And look, if we click play. Hello, welcome to my first podcast. My podcast is about Led Zeppelin. Okay, so we see that we have my voice and the music one on top of the other. So we want to fix that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit by clicking on the magnifying glass, and I'm going to go to the start of my presentation. And what I'm going to do is highlight the music where I'm speaking, and I'm going to mute it by clicking on this button. So now if I go back and play, hello, welcome to my first podcast. My podcast is about Led Zeppelin. I think Led Zeppelin are the best band in the world. I even believe they're better than Metallica. Here's a sample of their music. Okay, so now we have no music at the same time as the voice. So what I'm going to do is actually highlight a little area here of the music by dragging with my mouse. And I'm going to go to the effect menu and choose fade in. So that's going to make a more gradual start to your music. Okay, I got an error, but it still seems to have done it. So I'm going to click and play the music starting here. Music. Okay, so that's a lot nicer. And now this song is very long, so I want to get rid of a lot of it. I just want to play a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is click and drag through all of this music right to the end of the song. And I'm going to use the scissors icon here, and I'm going to click, and you can see that it cut off the song, so we have a lot less music so that it doesn't play too long. I'm going to highlight the end of the song by dragging, and I'm going to go back to the effect menu and choose fade out. So I'm going to click OK, and now we see that if I click in the song and I hit play, so that gives us a nice ending to our presentation. Okay, so now we're finished. We could click and listen to the whole thing. Welcome to my first podcast. My podcast is about Led Zeppelin. I think Led Zeppelin are the best band in the world. I even believe they're better than Metallica. Here's a sample of their music. Okay, so that sounds perfect. Now what I'm going to do is save this project as an Audacity project. And I'm going to name it Led Zeppelin, and I'm going to save it right on my desktop on my Mac. So now my project is saved. This is my project, and these are the files that go with it. Okay, so that's my Audacity project. Now I want to export it, that is to save a copy of it as an MP3, and that's the file we're going to put on podbean.com. So here we go File, Export as MP3. Once that happens, you can name it the name of your band. We're going to say Save. And here, if you want, you can put a title in. And put in whatever information you want in here. And then track number 1. And we can say OK. and now it's saving an MP3 file. So here's ledzeppelin.mp3. Now that we've completed our recording, we need to post our recording on the internet for people to subscribe to. To do this, go to podbean.com and you want to log in with the user ID Montignac and the password. So let's go ahead and do that. Now you can see you're logged in because it says Welcome Montignac at the top of the page. What we want to do now is publish our podcast. So you use this blue tab here, click on the link, and it'll bring you to the page where you upload your podcast. So here we click on Publish a New Show, and here we fill in the form. Okay, so you see this looks different than what we did in class. This square was not here, and this is where you actually upload your file. So I'm going to go and fill this in. So here we want to put names or put words that describe the band that we're talking about in our podcast. So you don't want to only name it, you want to put in words that people will search in Google for your band. In this case, maybe people would search for Robert Plant because that's the name of the singer, maybe Jimmy Page, and so on. So you can continue with more words. I could even put hard rock and more descriptions like that. I'm going to put Led Zeppelin as a title and then say, this is my podcast about Led Zeppelin. Okay, so you can put in more of a description if you want. Now what we need to do is upload the MP3 file that we produced. So I'm going to go ahead and click Choose File. And on my desktop, I have ledzeppelin.mp3. So I'm going to choose that. And then I think that's it. We can click Auto Detect the duration, and it's going to look at the file and tell how long it is. For now, I'm going to click Publish. You can see that it's uploading the file. Okay, this is going to take a second because it's probably a few megabytes. There we go, we're done. So now, if I click View Site, we end up here. Here's my Led Zeppelin title. This is my podcast about Led Zeppelin, and I can click play. Hello, welcome to my first podcast. And then it plays our podcast. Now what's really neat about this is that all of your postings will appear one after the other. If you want, you can go back and edit what you or change what you've written here if you're not satisfied with it. And then you can click on this button to subscribe with iTunes. You can do this at any time, and iTunes should open on your computer if you have it. Here I have it, and it's just going to take me a moment. iTunes will launch eventually. There we go. And there's Montignac. It tells me that there's a new podcast. I'm going to click Play Selected. Hello, welcome to my first podcast. And there we go. We've successfully uploaded a podcast to the internet. You can see here that it's in the list, Montignac. There's one called Led Zeppelin. So good luck in doing this. And if you have any questions, pass them along to your teacher and she'll contact me with any further questions. Good luck, and I hope you have fun doing this.